Hey guys, welcome to PQ, where we watch and talk about music as classical musicians.
Today's song is a request from Oshin. So thank you, Oshin, for your song request and for your support. This is Bob Dylan. We are finally back on Bob Dylan. I think it was a long time ago when we listened to our first Bob Dylan on this channel, and we were excited about exploring him more, but it never happened right after that. So now we're back. Uh, and this one is called One More Cup of Coffee. I don't know this song, and we knew that Bob Dylan's lyrics are somewhat of like a mystery because of all the, I don't know, I feel like it's just too poetic for us. So we actually went ahead and we read the lyrics. We cheated a little bit, but I think that would help a lot because as we read the lyrics, it was kind of vague. So we had to even like research a little bit more. So we know the storyline, we know what is going to happen, but we are excited to see how those lyrics match with the music because we haven't heard of the music at all. So that would be interesting. But at least we are not going to be too lost about what is it all about, which is good. So here we go. Okay, I'm sorry to pause so quickly. That guitar part really reminded me of like Persian pop songs, like da, da, like
I just wanted
yeah,
to
I
say,
knew that. I was like,
like
is that
Farmers
yeah,
Aslani.
exactly. I was thinking about that. I was thinking
Yeah.
about him, and it was really. I mean, I know he was also like inspired by like Spanish music and like flamenco moments. So it's not truly like Persian, but so it's kind of like an influence of like, I don't know, if it could be also Spanish or also like it reminded me a lot of his songs actually. Yeah, the perfect person I was thinking about. Okay, here we go. And we're gonna listen to more of it.
Your breath is sweet with your eyes are like two jewels in the sky. Your back is straight, your hair is smooth on the pillow where you lie. But I don't sense affection, no gratitude or love. Your loyalty is not to me, but to the stars above. One more cup of coffee for the road. One more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below. Your daddy, he's an outlaw, and I wonder
Okay, let's just wait
about.
here before listening to the second verse. I am so speechless. I I don't know, it really felt something familiar but also beautiful, but also like I don't know, the lyrics, it just like blew my mind. I really loved it so far. I think because of all the influence of, I feel like it's more actually like probably Spanish when they started like with the strings, but like all those patterns and the harmonies are just so familiar to me. That's why it was like touching my heart in a different level.
Mm,
It was so beautiful. I loved it so far.
yeah. After that very beautiful guitar in the beginning, I was so captivated the whole time with the violin it was playing such a beautiful, like double stops, or like in general melodies. And I was so angry about the balance that they chose in this song, because this dum, dum, this was too loud in my opinion. I don't know if it's in my AirPods or something, but it was really, for me as a classical musician that heard like so many ensembles and also played. For me, if I wanted to sit and give a feedback to this ensemble, the first thing that I would say was the balance problem, because this to this has nothing like it's not a bad thing, but it's had nothing interesting to hear. It's just something that supports the other parts, and it's like it says a skeleton for a building, and it doesn't need to be so loud. It's just there for to support. And then the violin was so tiny that you had to really listen to hear. I mean, later you could hear that they wanted to make a crescendo, and then they make it the violin more present, which was nice. But they could do it also this way, with a little bit like one step higher sound of the violin, or they could just turn the volume of this percussion down, so that the balance is okay. And then when you want to make more the violin more present and make this big crescendo, then it would also make sense. But other than that, sorry, I got just too angry.
Wow.
I think my violinist soul was like,
Yeah.
no, that's not right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But other than that, I exactly like you. I loved the everything about it, the whole vibe of it, the whole feeling, the text, the sounds of the two singers, everything was beautiful.
Yes, it's so beautiful.
Your daddy, he's an outlaw and a wonder by trade. He'll teach you how to pick and choose and how to throw the blade. He oversees his kingdom, so no stranger does intrude. His voice, it trembles as he calls out for another plate of food. One more cup of coffee for the road. One more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below. Your sister sees the future like your mama and yourself. You've never learned to read or write. There's no books up on your shelf, and your pleasure knows no limits. Your voice is like a meadow lark, but your heart is like an ocean, mysterious and dark. One more cup of coffee for the road. One more cup of coffee before I go to the valley below.
Wow. Wow. The way that he's singing is I mean, it's more in Eastern music, but in general, like the traditional music makes this thing that I want to say. Also, I think even in Western countries, the really folk and traditional music is like that, or the singers sing like that, or use this kind of a voice quality and ornaments like he was using. But his voice was like coming from here instead of like deep here, because in the really classic, like Western kind of music, like classical, or like, I don't know, this kind of music, the sound should, I think I also talked about it in one of our other videos, the sound that you're making either with your string instrument, or with the singing, with the classical singing, and all of things should has like a big, it's like you have a big kind of wood box, and then the voice goes there, and then it makes so much reverb, and then a big voice comes out. But with the traditional music, is like the voice of the instrument or the person who's singing is so much more narrow and so direct, and it's like it's coming from here instead of going to a big box and then make have this kind of, it's more like intense. And the vibrato that they use is also like a little more intense, or like more like instead of like very steady and very clean without any change of a speed vibrato or something. And the way that he was using his voice, and also the vibrato, the placement of the vibrato that he was putting in some of his like end of his words, or like at I don't know, end of some of the notes, um, and also the type, as I said, the type of the vibrato that he was using, that was not really like a really calculated vibrato. It was like more really like traditional, more free vibrato, or ornaments that he was using, was all really adding this to this folk and traditional singing and music kind of thing.
One thing that really caught my, I mean, you really went deep with the vocals, so I don't wanna talk about that. But I was thinking the entire time, because of the harmonies that we heard were so like I told you, like, it's like reminds me of a lot of Persian songs, but also Spanish. And the reason was that I am playing a piece by, like, that is inspired by Cordoba, which is like a place in Spain. And I thought that the harmony progression is really like this one. It really reminded me of that. That's why I looked at the chords, and it's not the same key, but the chord progression that you start on tonic, whatever key you're in, and then you just go stepwise down. So just go, for example, in that piece that I'm playing, so we are in F sharp minor, and then we go one step down, one full step, we go to E major, and then one step down, and then, so that feels, there's no like true resolution in the traditional like major or minor way, because you start on tonic and then you end it on this guy. So you just have this, and then D major, and then I looked at the chords here, and exactly the same thing is happening here, but the difference is that you're in a different key. So we start on A minor here, so, and then we go to G, and that also happens a lot in a lot of Persian music. So exactly this chord progression, that's like very iconic Persian song, which is a very dancey one actually. But so it's interesting that the same chord progression can have like totally different meanings and vibes. So that was like, that caught my attention. I think that was the thing that felt really nostalgic to us from the very beginning, because the guitar intro also had that kind of step stepwise but going down motion in the harmony. So that was so cool, and that was very interesting. I actually really loved that. This song so much. I don't know, it just brought me so much, like brought back so much memories, and then it made me realize that, oh, it's just like,
Mm.
it's just very simple, like stepwise motion going down. But it also created, um, because maybe it's not used, I don't know actually if it's used in a lot of like rock music or like kind of, as you said, Western music. It really felt kind of otherworldly, and it really captured that other world that he was describing, that the girl is from, that is kind of like unknown and maybe exotic, and that's why they don't
Mm.
belong together, because they're just like, he was describing all the beauties she had, but also he was describing the world that she was coming from, that is totally like a unconventional, compared to like his lifestyle. So the music in the background kind of like had that vibe as well, that is just like someplace maybe exotic, maybe unknown, very mysterious. So that just the combination of those two was very nice. But also like the way that he was singing, his singing has like, I think we talked about it in the actually last two songs I've listened to. It's very conversational, but there is a sense of like not polished quality to his voice.
Mm.
It's just very raw and very spontaneous, as if he's just like talking to you, but also he's just making it up as he goes. It's very like,
Mm.
feels very raw and unpolished and spontaneous at the same time. So in this particular song, for example, it's really like, yes, matched together. So yeah, it was really cool actually. It was a different, probably one of the famous songs of him. I don't know that many songs of Bob Dylan, so I'm so happy that we got to hear this one. I think so far this could be
Mm.
my favorite Bob Dylan. I think I like know 3 Bob Dylan songs
Mm.
in total, so probably like a not a good judgment call at this point. But so far, I really enjoyed this song. So that was really a fun song
Yeah,
to
me
react to
too.
and listen to together. So thank you, Oshin, for requesting this song. Actually, she said in her message that I think she is either half Armenian or like full Armenian, but she was born here. If I remember correctly, it was a long time ago, and I just have the names here, which makes sense that she likes this music because it's also, I guess, very similar to some of the songs from that region that you hear. So that was actually, we had so much fun listening to it. So thank you again, and thank you guys so much for watching us. We hope you guys enjoyed this song as well. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you want to support us more, there is a Buy Me a Coffee link in the description. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.